It ends like this. A column of ash rising 20 kilometers into the sky, pumice falling like hail across the rooftops, a cloud of superheated gas moving faster than any person can run. 2,000 people do not get out, but that is later. This is the morning before. Pompeii. Autumn 79 AD. A market town of 11,000 people on the Bay of Naples in the shadow of a mountain they have lived beneath their entire lives without once considering what it might do. The streets are filling up, the bakeries are already lit. Somewhere on the Via dell'Abbondanza, a man named Successus is writing a woman's name on a wall. This is their last ordinary day. It begins, as all ordinary days do, without any indication that it will be the last one. Dawn. You wake to the sound of the city already moving below your window. Pompeii does not ease into its mornings. By the time the sun clears the hills, the street is loud. Cartwheels on basalt, a merchant argument 2 doors down, the smell of bread from the bakery that has been burning since before dawn. You live above a shop. Small rooms, no kitchen. No kitchen is normal here. Open fires in small wooden apartments are how cities burn, and Pompeii has learned this lesson before. You will eat outside today. You eat outside every day. You look from the window toward the mountain. It is there, as it always is, broad, calm, green on its lower slopes, a thin thread of smoke at the summit so faint you might imagine it. You do not think about the smoke. You never do. There is somewhere to be. Morning. The Thermopolium on the corner has been open since before you woke. A counter flush with the street. Large clay vessels sunken into stone, kept warm over coals burning below. Stew, lentils, salted fish, spiced wine. On the wall behind, a painted image of what is available today. Duck, bread, olives, wine. The Roman equivalent of a menu board, faded at the edges, repainted every season. Pompeii has over 80 of these counters. The Roman upper classes avoid them. Eating out is what the poor do, but the poor are most of the people. And this morning, like every morning, the thermopolia are full. At the intersection, you step across the raised stones that cross the street. No drains in Pompeii. Rainwater and waste run straight down the road. The stepping stones are the answer, but they are not random. The gaps between them are precisely the width of a cart's wheels. Wagons pass through, people step over. The grooves worn into the basalt by 2 centuries of iron wheels are still visible today. The stone remembers every cart that ever passed through this city. Every wall in Pompeii is covered in writing. 11,000 individual inscriptions recorded by archaeologists. Every surface in this city is a conversation. Election slogans, vote for Lucius, he bakes good bread. Restaurant recommendations in careful lettering. Insults scratched in anger and never scratched out. And near a doorframe on a quiet street, the words of a man called Successus, who loved a woman named Iris, the innkeeper's slave girl, and wanted the world to know it, even if she never would. The city is so loud this morning, so completely ordinarily alive. 2 blocks north, the ground shifts, a tremor, small, barely felt. The wine in the jars at the Thermopolium shivers for a moment, then stills. The owner wipes the counter. The city moves on. Midday. At midday, the city pauses. The baths open fully, not just for washing, but for everything that matters in a Roman afternoon. News, gossip, business, the slow, civilized pleasure of being clean and warm and surrounded by other people. The Stabian baths are the oldest public baths in the Roman world. The floors are heated from below. channels of hot air running under the stone, keeping the surface warm no matter the season. You move from the warm room to the hot room to the cold plunge at the end, a shock that wakes every nerve at once. In the changing room, two men are talking about the tremors. There have been tremors for days. A shelf fell in someone's kitchen. The fountain on the corner ran muddy for an hour yesterday before clearing. One man says it is nothing. The ground moves sometimes, it always has. There was an earthquake here 16 years ago and the city survived. The other man says nothing. He dresses quickly. He will collect his family and go to his sister's house on the other side of the bay this afternoon. Just to be safe, he says. Just for a few days. Afternoon. In the bakery on the Via dell'Abbondanza, the afternoon loaves go into the oven. 81 bakeries in a city of 11,000 people. Pompeii takes its bread seriously. The baker has been here since before dawn. The oven is never cold. When archaeologists excavated this bakery 2,000 years later, they found the bread still inside, still in the shape it went in, still scored across the top, in the pattern the baker's hand made. He did not finish his shift. At the edge of the city, the amphitheatre stands empty today. No games scheduled. But it is the oldest stone amphitheatre in the Roman world. 20,000 seats for a city of 11,000 people. There was a riot here once. Pompeian fans against visitors from Nuceria. People were killed. The Roman Senate banned events here for 10 years. The games resumed. Some things are more powerful than the Senate. Above the rooftops, the mountain has changed. The thin thread of smoke is not thin anymore. Evening. Dinner begins in the late afternoon before the streets go dark. Tonight, chestnuts, which are in season, olives, a plate of garum, fermented fish sauce, made from anchovies and mackerel, left to break down in the sun until it becomes something pungent and completely essential. Romans put garum on everything, unripe pomegranates on the side. The harvest is in. The wine from this year's grapes already sitting in the jars. Outside the window, ash is beginning to fall. Light at first, like the wrong kind of snow. Children hold out their hands to catch it. A dog barks at the sky. Some people leave now, grabbing what they can, moving toward the city gates, toward the road, toward the sea. Some people stay. They have survived earthquakes here before. They bolt the door. They wait. This is what most people do when the world becomes uncertain. They stay where they know. They wait for it to pass. Night. Across the bay at Misenum, a 17-year-old named Pliny watches the column rise from the mountain and reaches for his writing tablet. He will be the only person to record what happens next in words that survive. He describes the column of smoke and ash as resembling an umbrella pine, broad at the top, narrow at the trunk, pushed upward by force, then spreading as it rises into something vast and terrible above the mountain. In Pompeii, the pumice begins to fall, heavy, relentless. The roofs that have stood for a century begin to crack under the weight. The streets fill ankle-deep, then knee-deep, then higher. 17 hours after it begins, a surge of superheated gas moves down the mountain at 100 kilometers an hour. It is faster than running. It is faster than thinking. It is faster than finishing what you were doing when it arrives. A baker is found at his oven, his hands still on the counter. A woman is found at her front door, a key in her hand. A man is found in an alleyway, his arms folded over his head. A dog is found in a courtyard, still chained. 2,000 people do not get out. We do not know their names. We do not know what they thought in the last seconds, whether they were afraid or resigned, or simply surprised that this was how the day was going to end. We know only what the ash kept: the bread in the oven, the lentils on the counter, the chestnuts on the table, the groove in the basalt where the cartwheel passed this morning, and on a wall on a quiet street, still legible, still waiting, the name of a woman written by a man who loved her. Successus was here. Iris was here. The mountain remembered everything. It just didn't ask permission first.